Good morning. Welcome to Market Watch Group Sunday Market Insights. My name is Scott. Starting right on time. Good to see everybody. For those of you watching the recording, it is exactly 11 a.m. Eastern Time. As always, I need to remind you that what we're doing is for education and illustrative purposes only. Nothing we do or say should be interpreted or construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any financial security or product. We're not brokers. We're not advisors. Everything is done at your own risk. Okay, let's go. Let's go forward. Kept clicking on join, but received an error. I'll look into it. I'll tell you this. One of the things we are doing, here's a question for you. Is like getting into, is there ever like a hard time if you're like on your phone? Is it harder? So one of our guys was like, it seems like it's not a great user experience. Like you have to RSVP and then is that right? Like tell me a little bit, like you don't have to do it now. You can send me a message. But if I'm like clicking a John Z, please message me a little bit about your frustration. That's a pain because I'm going to try to fix it. I think I might be able to. I just need to understand it a little bit better. So if you've ever had like when you're entering from your phone, it's like you're like I feel like I have to take 3 steps when it should just be one. Just get me in the damn meeting. I get it. I feel your frustration and I want to fix it. Okay, what are we going to do today? Besides start right on time and make a note to fix that. We're going to talk about the market posture. We're going to look at the economic calendar, huge drop off. And we've been saying, I want you to look back and reflect, right? We've been bullish. We've been trading bullishly and we've been finding good bullish trades. But then all of a sudden we're like, does it feel like there's a little bit less numbers? Like your numbers are down. I believe the word we use was trepidation. There's some trepidation in the market. And right, we're just kind of like, we were talking about the hedge and you may not need the hedge because if you only have a couple positions left and all of a sudden, like even last week, there was just like, we took one new trade and then it was just like, it wasn't developing into signals. Am I kind of touching on it for you as well? So in one way, it's like, hey, I feel okay at this point, but we're gonna have to see. My prediction was dropping 3/4 of a point today on Friday. Kami, of course you're right on time because you were here when we started, and we started right on time. Everybody's punctual today. The joining from the phone, it seems to be the problem. Okay, so from the computer, not really. Joining from the phone, it's an issue. Let's noted. If you have a quick anecdote to tell me of like, I have to do this, it would be better if I could do this. And then I can maybe go see what we can do. Let's posture. Let's see if it is 3/4 of a point drop. Let's look at the economic calendar. Let's think about what sectors we may want to add. Sector searching, like if we see a little reversion in that, what does that typically mean? It means that we're seeing more strength from defensive sectors, which if we're going to do anything with that, you do it early, right? Right when it first starts, you think, ooh, okay, let's be open to that as a possibility as we're looking at the sectors. Do we want to add something from utilities? Do we need something more from the staples, right? We want to put a couple of those in that are like, hey, now we might start to see that overall shift once things get a little rattled by some unexpected news. And the conversation shifts. Again, for me, the data tells the story. And so when the data comes out, new jobs, I was skeptical but celebrating, right? Like, oh, hey, look at that. Everything's still working. These tariffs aren't. I was open and happy, and then now that the revision comes, and now it's like, oh, wait a second. This is a core fundamental piece of what we analyze and how we interpret what the Fed should do. Now we've shifted from can we, because inflation has come down, to must we? Can't, want to versus need to. Do we need to? And I think everybody's now saying, yeah, look, looks like that September is going to spike dramatically in probability, and we'll look at that. So watch list maintenance means let's think about if this is gonna, if the market's gonna circle the wagons a little bit. What's the next steps for us? What kind of trades? Where do we want to add? Still looking to trade. Still going to be bullish. We know that policies and things can happen quickly, and let's just still be thinking. Do what the market tells us to do. That's what I'm saying. Don't think about it. Let's ask the market what looks right, and we'll listen. Okay. Well, I think I think I wouldn't rush to judgment, because you're right. It's the jobs adjustment is not political until someone makes it political. That's happened on every administration. Every administration has had adjustments because they have to think about when the report comes. First Friday after the month. So there's a lot of real-time data happening, but that data has 3 days to get there. And so what's happening is it's oh, wait a second. Right? And so there's a lot of this came late, and then when that comes in, they adjust. That's always happened. If you ask how many revisions have there been by year, you'd probably be oh yeah, this is just how governmental reporting goes. So it's not political until it's made political. And the politics, to me, they don't make sense. The complaint at least was valid in the around the election, right? Where it's hey, it looks like you inflated them, and then right after the election, you're this is what it really is. I agree that has bad optics, right? Bad optics. But then what's the sense now? You were getting good report, and then they're oh, actually, it turns out it's the same exact progression. Oh, it actually didn't happen. So what's the politics this time? That's what I don't get. So yeah, I don't think it's unless he's going to hire somebody who he's just make up numbers, same thing's going to keep happening. The process is the process. You can't really change it. You can't, unless they just we're not going to accept that. And then we're kind of in trouble, because then our data has changed substantially from what we're all used to. Kami says bogus jobs report because there was 90K that were in education. Mm-hmm. So yeah, right. That's the hard thing about those jobs data. We want it right away. The report comes out at the first Friday after the month. That's not a lot of time for the government to get data right. Just saying. All right, let's go do some work. Let's do some work. Here we go. So I have a red here because I'm thinking that's definitely coming down. That's coming down. And that's coming down. But let's go see. Let's go see. Here's the question. Oh wait. Oh, are we gonna work? Come on, baby. Whoops. Okay. I was a little nervous there. All right, we're working. Need some common sense. Oh, asking for common sense from the government seems like a lot. Okay, yes, the question is, how are you feeling? Yeah, we got an engulfing candle on our weekly chart. Let's zoom in on this a little bit. engulfing candle, big volume. Now here's the thing. Let's actually, so this in and of itself looks like this almost identically. And it pulled back for a couple weeks, found a bottom, and then bam, we came out of it real strong. I can't remember if that was even a 560 to 508. So that was about an 8 or 9%. That wasn't a correction even right there. Just for visual reference, because you'll hear people say, "Oh, corrections happen all the time." They don't happen all the time. But this right here was about 8 to 9, almost a correction. This was just a consolidation. This was just a little blip, where it was like it was down and then right back and then made bullish again. So the one thing we don't want to do is like change our posture because of this one candle. We look at the candle in context. We just made this big move. We've been wondering, at what point is this thing going to help us understand a trend? Okay. The good news would be, based on the I think maybe it was pre-recording. We talked about discussing trepidation, discussing just even though our posture hadn't reflected it yet, right? Well, John, let me hit that. Even though our posture hadn't reflected it yet, we were seeing just sort of organically, like the trades were less because the quality wasn't there, because whatever, right? We're just like, yeah, there's just a nervousness in this market. And so we still talked about the hedge. I think a few people put a hedge on. I said, if you want, it even becomes speculative. So I wouldn't be surprised if a few people said they had some puts on right now, right? We did not get a triggered hedge. That wasn't the VIX made a lower low. So, we said, look, this is always a good time always the cheapest time to buy puts. So if you're just thinking, I've got 4 or 5 trades on, so I'm going to do it. If you're thinking I've got a couple on and I think that this thing could turn around, that's why we had the discussion. But it didn't trigger an alert because it didn't actually trigger a higher low on the VIX, which is a signal that is one we really keep our eye out for. Anyway, if you have them, let me know about it. Significance of an engulfing. Hedged with UVXY. Any hedge will do, right? Any hedge will do. You can be bullish the volatility, which is VIX, VXX, UVXY. You can be bearish the SPY, SPX, or various, any ETF that tracks or follows, leveraged or not, whatever. Yeah, fantastic. It's a great hedge. So engulfing, you can see right here, this is a bullish engulfing. I mean, the significance, it went higher a little bit. It's not like it just like shot off, but that's what we tend to say, that whichever way it engulfs is more likely the way it's going to go. Here's a bearish engulfing as well. Yeah. So, but that's because I can find that one. I could probably find, here's one. Yeah, you're seeing a little pattern there. This one only went down this much. Here's one. Yeah. So now what we're doing here is deviating a little bit from our normal discussion, because none of what we're talking about here, bearish engulfing, was an observation, but does not get reflected in the score. And you're like, what? Scott, you're just going to ignore it? No, nobody said that. That information belongs in a different posture. Right now we're doing market posture. This is overarching. This is, let's, take out any thinking, feeling. Let's just look at it on a consistent week-to-week basis, scoring exactly the same way every time. Never letting the news or opinion come in, mind you. So where does this one belong? trading posture. There's two postures when we posture. If you look at section 2 in our trading plan, there's two postures. The first one is the one that helps us to understand things like how many positions and what types of trades, and how now that if we start to see weakness in trades that we take going forward, if we see enough of a shift in our posture, what happens? Well, the confidence that we've had to be like, hey, I'm not going to take losses easily. So that when we had a little shakeup at the beginning of a trade that then took off, yes, we don't want them. Those are some frustrating trades if we miss them, and they happen more often in better markets. But now that we see this, that hold the trade swagger is going to be much less, where you're like, ooh, weakness is weakness. We got to be. So now we have to be a little bit more discerning, and you're going to see when those types of things happen, I think organically you see your risk management shrink up. You have less trades on. You're a little bit more selective, right? Which makes sense. Anyways, so we're not scoring that. What are we scoring? We're scoring the trend. Nothing's changed. We literally, over the last 2 weeks, hit a higher high. Now we're waiting to see what's the next low. I mean, for me, we could come all the way back down here without a blink. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, what's going on? I'd be like, it's just trying to find its next spot. Here, if it breaks this level, I'm going to give it a little zone there. Then I'm a little more concerned. But we're working off a real steep speculative push. So, yeah, at this point now, we're going to see the market find its, let's see how it settles into it. It's not concerning because it's just 1 week. Now, we recognize that from a trading posture standpoint, that 1 week typically has a couple follow, right? There's a couple that followed there, a couple followed there. That's kind of, you can see even there was a little bit of an engulfing, and you had a couple there. And obviously you had a couple here. And I say a couple, and you can see there was 1, 2, and then it stabilized. And then it fell some more. Obviously, that was around tariff reveal party day. Okay, but back to the score. What am I scoring it? Exactly the same. No change. No change. It's bullish. Now I need to see the sellers before I can make any other assumptions from that. But does that mean I can't trade differently based on some of these things that we're seeing? Where it's like, you know what? Yeah, I might take some things to the downside. Besides a hedge, speculative things to the downside for that next couple weeks. I might look for things out of defensive areas, because we don't want to wait until we see a bunch of momentum. Then it's almost over, right? Because if it's only a 2 week or a 3 week pullback, you'll see a little shift into the defensives, and then it just sort of curbs again. And it's like, wow, now you got into that late. We got to make sure that we're really thinking proactively on this. Okay, nothing changed for me here. Did anybody change theirs? Let's keep it a conversation. I feel like I'm monologuing a lot today, you guys. I know you're feeling a little sheepish from showing up late and when I was sitting here waiting for everybody. It's okay. I forgive you. I promise. Okay. Corrine feels bad because she actually was. Me too. I fess up. Okay. Wait, where's my chart now? Oh no, now I think I just got killed. I was feeling like it was stuttering on me here, you guys. Think or swim on Sundays. The challenge is real. No change for Tony Z. Thank you, Sandy. Sandy's getting salty. Woo. My goodness. Let's attempt to reconnect. Just to clarify, is this the market posture? Yes, market posture. Okay, whoop. Well, there it is. He says he will fire them. It's ultra politicized now. 100. So what do we have this week? You can see the headline here already. I'm going to have to wait for my thinkers. Where it is. There we go. Yeah, it's thinking more than swimming for sure. You can see even now. Come on. Think or swim? You're embarrassing me in front of my friends. Okay. Let's talk about these other things. We'll skip until it gets there. We will not be deterred. Okay. Let's get to this week. No, let's actually Sunday. Sunday is a fun day. We try to keep it light. It is frustrating though. Oh, there we go. I think it's moving. You know what? Let's just jump right to let's go right to sector rotation. We'll come back. We'll see volume and now it's like nothing wants to work. Come on now. What are we doing here? There we go. Okay. What's our score coming in? Major market 0.75, and I'm red. Why? Because I was looking at it here thinking I might have jumped the gun. Last week I thought I was on the fence and thinking that needed to maybe take a step back. And I think I maybe was right that I over got there. Yeah, I want to be reflective of it for sure. Anybody else have thoughts on that? Did we? Maybe not overthought it. Maybe I just overscored it too soon. That's my thinking here. But let's go through it. Steven feels like maybe it's going to hold up. We'll see. NASDAQ up. Looks good. S&P. The Dow. And then the Russell. Russell's down here struggling a little. I need these ads to get out of my way. 133. So this is a bullish 0.5 here. You know, the small caps are lagging. They're just trying to keep up. Here we have what? Small caps lagging again. This is still bullish. This looks like a bullish pullback in a 0.5 level bullish. The small caps aren't participating. For it to get higher than that, we need small caps, the little soldiers that could. And they're not there. But technology is very strong and can carry us and pull us broad shoulders. Let's go to 66. And on 66, you can see, yeah, okay. I agree with you, Stephen, that I maybe didn't overscore. Because here's where I was starting to put that 0.75. I think maybe it needed to establish more than just this. It was like pulling up, but not really. I think I needed to give it a little more space before I did. Yeah, we all get excited and want to be a little more bullish. It makes sense. It's better to trade in a bullish market, I think. So, yeah, but I think now with this dropping back down, it's not worse than that. You can see the Dow. It's not like we see this. What I would be looking for here is, do we start to see the Dow shooting a little bit more? Meaning what? Meaning there's some money moving into safe harbors. That's the blue chips, right? We don't see that. They're still down at the bottom. So I'm not seeing anything concerning here. What I'm saying is the 0.25 I and maybe some of you scored the small caps. You can see the scuttle away. Although now that, and we'll see what happens going in, the more we start to see the interest rates demonstrating a increased probability, the more the small caps start to get a little bit more. So we'll see. But for now, yeah, let me just make sure I'm all the way over. Okay. I don't know why this thing keeps showing up here. Hold on. Let me get rid of this. Since I have. And what a pain. In task. Okay, there we go. Let's go to the 22. Same thing here. We see the small caps retreating Fine. We're going to remove the 0.25 for that. But we also see the Dow retreating. We don't see anything where it's like, ooh, hold on a second. Why is it going? It's moving from here, going to here. No, it's just sort of pulling back. Fine. Not worse than that, but it is a drop. And I'm going to remove the red because I don't want that to be like, it's negative. It's not negative. I just was flagging it to be reviewed. There, I'm going to accept this. I'm going to remove that as well. Okay, fair enough. 0.5. Where's everybody out? You guys there? Same? Small caps got a boo-boo. They did. Small caps. And you kind of are like, are we going to see the interest rates or are we thinking that the tariffs are going to be worse for small caps than the interest rates are good? I don't know. I don't know. All right. Let me get signed back in while we go do some sector rotation. Oh, I hope I didn't check if it was which account it was. Be the right one. Okay. Let's keep going. Sector rotation. Make sure I'm over. Okay. From the broad perspective, again, what do we have at the top? Communication services, financials, discretionary, technology, industrials, all very bullish. You can see industrials really kind of getting popped on what may be coming. We're going to look at that sector as well. It's the wrong one. Damn it. Sorry. That's on me. I was distracted. I didn't look. That's on me. Okay, let's get back. Sorry, you guys. Okay, let's get this. At least we're still moving. And let's go 133. What do we see here? Oof, look at that. Look at that move, pushing utilities. That's concerning right there. We see that utilities push. They've dropped, but still up in the leading position is technology. Industrials drop. Right? Thank you, Sandy. My drunk friend at the party. Indeed. Industrials pulled back, but still strong. Communication services pulled back, but still strong. Okay. Down here, we have discretionary, we have energy, we have healthcare. So kind of mixed after that. Let's get to the scoring. What's going on here? There's technology, strong, broad. It's hard to look at that and be like, oh, what's going on? Am I wrong? We don't think about anything else that's going on, but what's going on this chart? What do we see? I don't see anything here that's where you're like, what? So then who's next? Industrials pulling back, but still strong. But we only have two. Where's everybody else? We have communication services is kind of fallen a little bit here. Discretionary fallen and really starting to drop a little bit. You know, here's utilities now. It's kind of trending up, but it's just still hovering in this area. And energy's in here. Materials are. We don't see a lot of like flow into defensives yet, right? I think I'm going to leave it too, but here's the problem. If you were to change it, which way would it go? Which way would you be thinking? Because for the last little bit, as we've been scoring the market, we've been like, I like the fact that if anything, it looks like it's more likely to do this than that. But right now, for me, I'm thinking, oof, if I were to do anything, I'd be pulling it back. Yes, Kami. Yes. I'd be pulling it back. I'd be thinking, I only have two growth sectors in a leading position. I have a pretty, they're still above others, but they've dropped below the market. There's not as much there. So if anything, what I think is more likely coming is a drop to 0.25. I'm not going to rush to that, although maybe, I don't know if I consider myself a tie. John Welsh has good advice. He says, take it to the 22. And what do we see here? Bob Rowland had the same idea. Utilities popped. Ooh, nobody likes that. Right? That's clearly a ooh. In fact, I kind of am feeling like that is going to pull me back to the 0.25 now. I can't get great advice from the group and then not listen when I see something like that. Am I right? That's concerning. That utilities pop. That's that first little bit of defensiveness where we're like, I'm not taking it negative. I'm not even taking it neutral. I'm taking it back to less bullish. That's important perspective, I think. Right? So my major market dropped because it was overscored, but still looked pretty good. Still a nice bullishness about that. This one is holding on to bullish. That's what we're going to describe that as, holding on to bullish. But it's a regression. Yeah? It's a regression. I don't think this one regressed. I feel like this one was just a scoring, logistical consideration. This is a regression, in my opinion. Okay, let me switch this to the right account. Sorry, you guys. So bad. But we needed to score that anyways, so... Okay, questions, comments, or concerns about that? I feel like it was a really good discussion, and this is where we're kind of... This what we're doing now should impact our trading postures. Right? This is the kind of thing where we're like, yeah, okay, this is going to help me to know what trades will make sense, where, what does it need to look like? What is my risk management going to be? Am I going to be a little tighter with stops and just be like, if it shows any signs of failing, done here, there's no like, hey, this is a swanky kind of market where we just let it go. We'll be fine. It'll come back. And then boop, there it goes. Okay. Let's get to the SPY. A lot of red from Friday. But even on our, here's the deal. That is the exact trend that we've been drawing. Am I right? Like, that's connecting the dots. We got to it, but we didn't get through it. We are not anticipatory in our posturing. It'll get you into trouble, I can promise you from experience. Early in my posturing process like this, where I was like, what's going on? What's going on was my opinion kept coming back in. And every time my opinion came in, I got in trouble. But when I was able to, do as I'm told, shut up and do as you're told. Market's talking to us. It's saying, hey, yeah, I got to it, but not through it. This is the angle. This is the trend. I'm going to leave it. Anybody agree, disagree? What are your thoughts? Short term. LJ goes in. I only need agree from Steven. If anyone's concerned, okay. Yeah. Look, in our minds, we might be thinking it's coming, and then next week it comes, and we're like, we kind of felt like it would, but we wait. We don't wait to trade it. We wait to score it. If you're thinking that, then that's what you're going to go trade now. Just don't score it yet. That's the key here. So that stays the same. Still a 1.5. That angle's just a nice, solid bullish angle. So let's see if it can. Let's see what we can find. Maybe they pull a couple of sweet trade deals out and lower tariffs on a couple places, and the market's like, yeah, okay, there we go, right? It's an interesting market. But what I would say is, again, organically, it feels and seems like we're already at a more controlled level of risk rather than a growth. Like, yeah, let's open it up because things are moving up and looking good. And all right. Volume. We're actually doing okay on time. Volume. Okay. What do we have? I have my last buy day. My very last buy day back here, which we just typically don't even count. So if we throw that out, because we're consistent, we have one sell day, which we just got. It's going to be here for a while. We have 0 buy days and 3 ties. Okay. Now here's the deal. If there was a 1 there instead, 1, 1, and 3, it would be a tie. Tie goes to the buyers. That would equal a 0.25. We don't have that. But this is not like, oop, we're going negative yet. I'm going neutral. I'm going to the 0.5. Line of sanity says what? We started here. We ended here. Feel good about that? I'm going 0. Don't anticipate it. Don't anticipate it. Bam. 0. Okay. Unchanged. Dropped a quarter. Ooh, I was thinking 0.75. I think it's going to be a full point. Let's go see why. Let's get to the VIX. Let's see. Now, if our perspective looked like this, then even this, we broke the high here. But overall, we're not in a horrible place, right? It is going to drop the score because it was a higher high. That's going to pull the score back because it's a higher high. But is it like the sky is falling, higher highs? No, it hasn't even gotten back to the highs of this point here. Definitely not even close to these. If I take one step back and I were to do something like this. Oh, my lines are so bad today. I feel bad. Okay, hold on. I've got to do this. I've got to do this better. Well, okay. If I go to the highs, I'm in the right place. If I go to the bodies, not as good. Let's see. Thoughts on that? Yeah, okay. I think it's okay. We're not in a bad place yet. We're not in a bad place yet. Okay. But I am going to take my score to a 1. That actually feels pretty okay. How do I decide which line? I'm kind of taking them both into consideration. Let me actually put them back up, press. So if you look at this is really what we're scoring. So no matter what, we already that's what gave us the 0.25. If we would have broken above this, I probably would have given it a 0.5 and been like, that's too much. But no, it's 0.25. But as we look at those other two lines, yes, we broke the downtrend of the bodies. But if you notice, it's even if we were to roll from here, it's still kind of orienting to the downside. Okay. Let me delete these. Final score. 4.5. Now El Jago's looking to move directly into trading posture. We dropped a point. I said 0.75. I said a 0.75 drop. I'd be like, concerning, but this is a 1 point. It's a full point, and you're like, that's only 0.25 different. But 1 point is kind of like where it's like, oh, okay. So I'm still bullish. We're still bullish. It's only 1 point, but 1 point does kind of open the door to, if you're thinking, hey, I might put a speculative bear trade on. It's more aggressive because you're trading momentum. You're not trading like the underlying market. You're trading the momentum where you're like, I think this momentum could increase. Yeah, well, there's something to that. If we go back to our SPY chart, and then I'm going to run through the watch list. When we go back and we look at the bigger picture of these things, obviously this one was pretty huge. If we see something like that again, yeah, this is, but it gives us a second leg down. The rest of these are just one. Boom. This one was 2. 1. Right? So there's a couple of times where these tend to be our corrections / even touch a bear market. These tend to be consolidations and get close. This was close to a correction. And the rest of these are more consolidations. So we don't know. We don't know. If you're feeling aggressive, tariffs are front and center again. I agree. If you're feeling aggressive, like it's really getting ugly, then right. But if you're like, I don't know, this thing could very well just do one of these and then pop. We're getting closer to the fall. Fall tends to be nice chunks of market for us, historically speaking. And we've got a lot of earnings. Steve C's right, a lot of earnings. So there you go. How do we transition market posture into trading posture? And we'll continue to look at that tomorrow morning when we come on. That's kind of the point. For now, I need a note card. AAP. I think we're here. I think we could still, it hasn't broken the 50, hasn't broken the old level. 4.5. Next week will give us better analysis on the VIX. Yep. Okay. Fair enough. I like that. Now, here's the thing. If we get another 1 point drop this week, that changes a lot of things. All of a sudden, we're back in the 3s. All of a sudden, we've dropped 2 points. The momentum, that's the kind of thing that really has us reluctant to put on bullish trades and more likely to start putting on things that have downward orientations. Absolutely. Right. We don't have to wait till we're a negative. That's not the way the posture works. The posture is just scoring the market. We're trading a combination of the market conditions. We're trading the momentum. We're right that when we move to trading posture, everything's on the table. I'm going to read Press's comment. It looks important. He said, I want to give you a little insight that may be helpful. Increasing the equities and the crypto market run up and down together. After the Fed meeting, both went into the red. Friday's jobs data made both markets. Crypto market fell further Saturday, but this morning it stopped and started to rise. Okay, there you go. I mean, look, that's what we're saying here. Is this certainly is not something we want to just bet to the downside. That could get you in a lot of trouble, but we want to be ready for the downside, I think. Great discussion today. Gosh, you guys are a smart group. Apple. I'm holding off on. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm on the right chart. Apple. Not great. Coming down. Wasn't much there already. Which Apple struggling is always a little hard for the tech market. It's a big piece of the tech market. But chips are really carrying the day right now. So we'll keep that in mind as we go through this. Amazon, that's a no until we see what happens here. It's a pretty nasty. I think they had an okay report, and then just they can't like what's coming. Did anyone read about the report on this one? It was nasty. APH still looks pretty strong. And potentially buyable. For me, and I would even go across probably here. Yeah, if we see this thing stabilize and turn this week, that looks fantastic. I think we could definitely see one of these moves pop over here again. So, I like it. Relative strength. ASTS was one that I was like, ooh, that was looking okay. Pulled back a little bit. Earnings. I don't know. If this thing, I mean, it could be a quick hitter. There's a lot of momentum here. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Possibilities, we will say. Possibilities. AXP dropped, broke support. We're seeing something happening in the credit market. We have to be aware of that. Bank of America. But that doji. Yeah. These can suck you in, right? Where you like, it goes like this and you're like, yeah, here we go. And then it goes like this and you're like, I don't know, it could still do it. And then it's like, bam. Oh, goodness. It does have some interesting, interest about it. Let's go BAC. Financials, you can see starting to break 50s, break lows, or at least test them. Break the 50, test the lows. Beyond, I'm gonna keep an eye on this one and see. I think if it doesn't break on these levels here, then it could, even if it just came up here, or even got a partial way, we should be able to take 75 cents to catch $2, and then have a potential for $3. 3-to-1 to 4-to-1 possible. Citigroup. I still like Citi. Right now, if this turns into something like this, Kami, no, you made this. That's what I thought too. I was like, is this Beyond Meat? This is Bed Bath and Beyond and Overstock combined or something like that. Like, I didn't quite understand it either. I was like, is this Beyond Meat? We used to watch this and it wasn't. I did the exact same thing. If we get this, I had to go look it up. Steve C says, look at us down here. If we can get that pinch and get that crack, then we have something in front of us. So I always have that same problem with Beyond. I've never tried it. I'm always like, I should try it. I'm like, no, I can't do it. And then I eat a steak, put it out of my mind. No. Okay, Citi's on the list. Caterpillar. Everyone's like, hey, be careful of the industrials. It looks strong. Problem is, we got earnings, and that's where things may get concerning right there. So yeah, I'm not going to put it because I don't. It looks amazing. I'd love to trade this. It's been looking great, but earnings and tariffs and the such. This feels concerning to me. This feels concerning. CCJ still looks okay. The earnings were great, but the guidance might not have been. But we're still above this old level here. We're still above the 50. If this can stabilize, CCJ, I'm going to keep still strength. Looking for those that can lead this market. CLS, still strength. Plenty of good things on our list. CNN, ooh, the C's strong today, bringing their A game. The C's are okay. I'm not going to say it again. COF, no. Coinbase, ooh, Coinbase had not a good report. Coupang. Yeah, there's just no time. I'm not going to put it on this week. Never materialized. Cisco, struggling. Dash, close to earnings. That's one reporting this week. Not much time there. There's the Dow, testing the 50. EA is a choppy thing right now. Not much interest in that. EXPE, I think that looks good, but you're really close to earnings now. They're going to come out on Thursday. Ford. Yeah, okay. Futu. Ooh, I still like it. I don't know. What are your thoughts? That was a big sell. Closed at the bottom. We're right at this, but this was kind of a flag. I'm okay if we get back. You can see the middle of this big breakout candle is going to intersect right around where this thing is going to slide in. 136.5 or so. If we can find support. I'm not even sure what these guys do, to be fair. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Futu. GE. GE still looks fine. Still on the list. GE Vernova still looks fine. Still on the list. Very strong. Gold. Anybody trading on this bounce? Let me know. I did not. Google looks pretty good still, right? A little pullback. I think Google could pull back to 180 and I'd still like it. Better if it only got to 185. Let's see. And here's the thing. Meta's crushed it. So Goldman still looks strong. Where's the leaders in financials? Let's find them and put them on our list. There's one of them. Graylin, good to see you. Have an amazing Sunday. Hasbro, nothing for us. Hood. Let's still watch it. It's had a lot of strength. Let's keep our eye on it. Howmet just had earnings better than expected. It's holding on. It's choppy. I'm going to keep an eye on this one as well. IBM is a no for me, but let's keep watching. Invesco. Let's keep an eye on Invesco. IBZ. IWM, no. Joby. It's too close to earnings, too new, too speculative. I'm a no. Levi's, a little too far. Love is obviously nothing for us. Las Vegas Sands. Ding, 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 ding. Meta. Yeah, absolutely Meta. Absolutely. Overreacted, but still strong. Comes back. I'd like to see it maybe only get to that point, but even if it came down all the way to here, I'd still be like, all right, we know where it can get. Morgan Stanley. No, I think Goldman's taken its place. It's a little too flat. It couldn't do much last time. Microsoft. I'm gonna put Microsoft on for the same reason, but it's such a actually I don't know. It's such a grinder that if it just moves back into the grind, that's not a lot of fun to trade. I'm gonna hold off on that. Micron, no. Netflix, no. Nvidia, yes. Looking good still. Looking like opportunity coming. We know that role everyone sees AI and the players involved in there. Pagaya Technologies. I don't know. It's close to earnings. It's kind of wavering a little. Let's watch it, but carefully. Palantir. I would imagine we all are done with this one and looking for the next one. I do not ever abandon Palantir. That's my ride or die. QQQ pulling back. QS. That's a. I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna put it on the list. Thank you. Roblox still on the list. It's been strong. Bit of an overreaction doesn't mean it's not still strong. Reddit. Somebody had a little piece of that, I think. Nice. Rocket Lab. So if you got stopped out, I get it. If you're still in because you didn't have a stop hard, it's kind of in a hiccup zone still. Even if you stay in, you've only got like 3 days to try to catch a little pre-earnings momentum. Yeah, me as well. I'm looking for momentum Monday or else I'm going to be a dunzo funzo on that one. RTX looks great. Let's be ready. Silver. Yeah, I mean, silver looks pretty good. Like it could bounce from there. 10-cent music I still like. Not much time before earnings, but we'll keep an eye on it. Tesla, no. TSM. I think Nvidia. Let's put it on. Let's put all three of these. The big three. Uber, no. Uber is a debtor of ours. Just saying. Visa, no. Walmart. Testing that resistance level. I just don't see much there. Win. Close to earnings. Las Vegas Sands looks better anyways. That's our list. Pretty good. It's a pretty good opportunity list still, even for a 1-point drop. If it looks like it's going to stabilize, I'm still going to look to put some trades on. So, but we certainly have a stronger air of caution in the way that we're going to take risk, in the way that we're going to manage trades, manage risk. I think we're kind of all seeing very similar. VRT. I don't think it's on our list, but I'll take a look. Always willing to look. Woo, love it. Strong on the list. What a great late addition, Kami. Well done. Well done. Put it on the list, both long and short list. I mean, not meaning buy and sell. The longer watch list and then the opportunity list, which is shorter. Nice work. Now the horse is resting, getting a little food. Wait for it to get to the line and let's run it again. Okay. Trading plan. I'm 5 minutes over. If only everyone else would have been on time, we would have ended on time. You have no one but yourself to blame. Where's my trading plan? Routines. This is a good one. It's an easy one. This is probably the easiest. You don't need to think about this one so much. What are we going to... Whoop. Don't tell me to water the bonsai. Okay. What do you need to think about here? Are you going to have 3 daily routines? I like 3. I like to do before the market. I like to have during the market. I like after the market. I like to define the window, which means when, how long. Then I like to define what are the exact activities, and I even put them in an order of priority. That's it. Weekly, Sunday, 9 a.m. I've already done my market posture. When we do this routine, what are the bonsai? Amen. That's exactly right. My routines have to be programmed for me sometimes. I get it. Weekly, same thing, right? Just when, how long, what are you going to do? Check it off like a checklist. We sit down, we check it off always. This is something we should execute at a 90 to 95% or higher. We just don't miss days. We don't miss routines. This is a lot of times when people make mistakes when I would coach one-on-one. This is exactly where I'd be like, if you followed your routine, that wouldn't have happened. It's that simple. That's a lot of them. So, all right. So get that plan in. I want to get this to an 8. Was it Monday after the bell, Bill? You might be right. We might only have one more day on PLTR. I thought we had a couple. You're exactly right. We have one day. Oh no, I'm out of that one. Sorry. I was thinking Rocket Lab is getting close. No, earnings was definitely for me. Earnings on Monday, and then right. That's kind of what had it as this thing was turning down. Plan to sell it close. Trade is even right now. Vertical calls. Any advice? Yeah, let's hope for a strong. Let's hope for the crypto bounce open. Bill, we're on your side. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough. Let's look at it pre-market if you're going to show up tomorrow morning. Other than that, thanks everyone. It's great to see you guys. Always fun to hang out. Have an amazing weekend. I'll see you in the morning. What is it, like 21 hours? I'll see you in 21 hours. As always, happy trading.